Hey black women. I wanted to talk to y'all about Father's Day, right? Because I was very happy that I didn't see anyway if there were very many black women content creators making Father Day videos, Happy Father Days videos. And I was very appreciative to that. For me, it spoke to how black women are beginning to recognize that we should stop allowing black males to take the credit for our hard work and to stop feeding into their ego and trying to pretend that they are these great fathers and etc. when they're actually not, and that they do everything for performative value. But I want to talk about something else that really was getting on my nerves, but it is a pet peeve of mine that I don't like stupid black women. And I know y'all may like her, but I'm talking about Miss Archduchess right now. I happen to think like she is one of the dumbest content creators on here, in the sense that I don't respect black women that always do all this fucking talking, never come from behind them fucking avatars, hide, have all of this psychological fucking trauma that they want to dump on everybody else online as black women, and feel like we must swallow or regurgitate their bullshit. Just in hearing her voice and knowing a lot about psychology, reading books and knowing how people are, I can tell that this girl has been probably attacked by a black male, and she still has not gotten over that. And unlike many victims that become actual survivors, they learn to strengthen themselves and get to the point where they can actually fight or defend themselves or actually do bodily harm as a result of being victimized and overtaken and bested by someone. The other thing about her is that it's clear she doesn't have any male children, and to me she sounds so immature, but that doesn't really factor into people having children. Is that I don't think she has children either. So she is a person who speaks about different aspects of life that she actually has no lived experience in. And that is seriously annoying to me. Because yes, I do agree when it comes to black women's safety, when they talk about relationships with black males, that you should never be out here telling black women, even if you are like me and you have sons and grandsons and all that, right, to just wholeheartedly go into relationships with black males without telling them that, no, for your safety, black women, you should not be fucking with them in any way, regardless of me having sons, fathers, brothers, cousins, grandfather, all that, right? Because that doesn't matter. And even though there are the women that she complains about that came into her comment section and were mentioning that, not my father was decent, da 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 da, she is not able to, like, this is the real world, right? And even though this is social media, this still translates into real world, because the influence here affects how you function and how you deal and think in the real world, right? Because a lot of you show it, that you pay so much attention to this shit that you can't compartmentalize it, because you show by the way you only give support to some content creators and not others. So whereas if you actually took this as just entertainment, as it is, or sometimes informative information, all black women on here would have big channels and they would all be able to support themselves the way that the token few can. So in saying that, I want to point out something that none of these women talk about. Now, me being a black woman who's always been for black women, from the time my channel came up, you knew of me, I've come, gone, whatever, right? Slowed down, come back, want to leave, all that. I always speak for black women's best interests. Even when I'm angry, call myself chastising y'all out of frustration, that's what I do. And what I don't like about content creators like her is that she doesn't understand that you can be a black woman who is really for black women and be able to deal with yourself, your emotions, actions, feelings, and all that, in telling black women although I have raised a son that is not the piece of shit that you guys are talking about, I can identify and understand that even with that, I advise women that I know to stay away from my son as well, or any black males related to me or that I have sired, because of the potential of the harm that may come to black women and the socialization of the hate that they teach each other to have towards all black women, including their mothers. So now, I have 3 sons. And I have a whole bunch of grandsons too, right? More than my granddaughters. So when I deal with these boys, I try to instill in them love of self, first of all. Love and respect of your blackness, their culture, and black women only. This is how I've always raised my sons, and now I'm trying to instill this in my grandsons as well. With that, I have a daughter-in-law, and I have black women that my other sons date, and I tell them as well, the first time something happens with them, you are to leave them and you are to do what is best for you. In the situation where my daughter-in-law is the only one that has a child for one of my sons, her and I make sure to have a very good relationship where if she is in need of anything from me, even though I am not her biological mother, I do what is correct. Even if it means, and it does mean this most of the times, going against my own son to make sure the mother of my grandchild is set, has what she needs, she is supported, she is protected, and she's advocated for, so that her life is good, to ensure that my grandson's life is good. Because see, my son is grown, all of them, and me being their mother, who has done everything to make them responsible, reliable, and dependable, they don't need any more raising, they don't need any more coddling. So if they have a problem with me taking the side of my grandson's mother, my daughter-in-law, that's too fucking bad. Because I'm going to always put black women before any black male. And see, all of those type of things, that's the type of stuff, the experience, the lived experience, the actuality of the situation, those type of women don't know anything about. So they're quick to always say, oh, it is all black men. It is all black men. But at the same time, black women who are in positions where they have to deal with certain black males, to deal with the extenuating factors of those black males, we have to know how to do what we're supposed to do to continue to protect ourselves and black women. That's the shit she don't know nothing about. So that is why she keeps having people come in her comment section talking about, oh, not my father, because she doesn't understand where those women are coming from. And this is a reality, because even with me telling you this, I work very hard to make my sons understand that black women are human beings. They have feelings. They are to be respected, protected, all of that. And you are to go against any other black male that tells you otherwise, including your fucking father. So we have a very important, pivotal role in all this bullshit that's going on, because the time I spend in trying to scope the relationship my biological son is having with my grandson's mother to make her life that much more fulfilled, appreciated, and considered, regardless of they're having a good time in the relationship, a bad time, or there is a lack of communication or a breakdown of communication. It is my job as that black mother of a black male son, y'all call it that other dumb shit that I won't repeat, right? But it's my job to walk my son through the parts of the problem that he doesn't understand, because he doesn't have the maturity, He doesn't have the emotional intelligence or the understanding of where this woman is coming from at the moment, without having all of that male socialization, negative, black women hating, anti-black talking shit running into his ear. So on Father's Day and things like this, where there are certain points of time periods in the year that in the life we live in, males are put up on a pedestal or given the same attention women are given on Mother's Day, you have to stop and realize that there are still black women out here, like me and others, working very hard to make sure black women are still protected, still respected, and considered, while they're living in the real life situations that we have an amount of control on. And that we can help to dictate that black woman's life is not going to be as bad as another black woman's life. And most importantly, that black woman that I have some engagement with and some type of manipulation and control over the situation, when it comes to my biological son, I can make sure in every way possible that is in my ability to make sure she is protected from getting hurt, from dealing with domestic violence, black femicide, and ensuring that my grandson is given all of the best positive attributes from his engagement with his father, which is my son. And those are the things that these black women, when they come on here and they're doing all of this black male bashing collectively across the board, to the point where when people come in and say certain things in their comment section, and it is in regards to their personal situation, you can dismiss it, as we often do. I do it as well. But what I'm talking about is the level of experience and the actual life experience that comes with understanding those women and knowing where they come from, and knowing how a lot of those women play very important roles in keeping other black women protected in those relationships they either desire or choose to have with them black males, or protected in walking away or ending those relationships they have with those black males. It is very important, and I'm sorry, on Father's Day I had to bring that to your attention. Like, you have no idea. My son is grown, almost 30, and I spend the majority of my time constantly redirecting him about how important it is to be able to communicate, understand, have empathy, be open to explaining and exploring why she feels this way, why she says this, why she does not want a relationship with you, why she does not want this, why she wants that, why she will only settle for this and not that. That is important. And although I am not in any way trying to rally or support or be on the side of black males in any way, that's not the case. I just want to expand on some things that you all should consider when you're listening to very half-cocked women like that, where everything with them is vitriolic, malicious, and not well thought out, and always very elitist, judgmental, and always based off of some type of stratification in hierarchy where they think they're at the top and everybody is beneath them, either physically or mentally or intellectually. That's the kind of elitist shit I can't stand with these women that make these videos, because they don't have all of that wealth of other information to pull from when they speak. It is mostly hate, perpetuating hate, and promoting hate. There's a difference between doing that and telling black women, I'm warning you, don't forget, look out for, Always remember, this is what they have done. This is what they do. This is who they are. There's a big fucking difference in that. I even do that with my own daughter-in-law. And I let her know to her face, my son or not, you come first. Because you are the mother of my grandson who is raising him, who is the first teacher of this little boy, who is there to make this little boy feel whole, to cuddle him and comfort him and to grow him into a fully formed adult that has no childhood issues, no wounded inner crisis, child concerns, none of that. And so she's important. And so she needs to know that I'm always on her side, regardless of the fact that my biological son is also somebody that I always have to stand either in the path with or in front of the path to make sure she's all right. That's the shit that I can't stand, that nobody ever talks about in reality. Like I told y'all, I'm getting ready to go visit my son in Missouri because he just went for a new training in the military to get a promotion and also to start a new type of job because he's in the military for life, right? Okay. So the reason he's doing this and that I help to push him and I support him in doing this is because when he completes this, he will have more money to take care of my grandson and my daughter-in-law. He will be in a position to do things that he was not in a position to do before he completed this, which is to buy a home for his son and his son's mother. Period. And for him to begin to set aside money for her retirement, his child's future, either it be for college or business school or whatever else this child decides to do, in addition to his own retirement. But most importantly, for him to be a better man and better father than his was to him. That is what my job is. And I'm also there to buffer the bullshit that goes on between the three of them when my grandson starts to feel like he can start to feel himself around his mother when he spends more time with his dad. We can't have that. We have to have a complete balance of respect in this child being taught by both parents towards both parents, but respecting immensely the role his mother plays, because his mother is there always when his father is deployed, away, training, or going for a different promotion. So all of these things I'm telling you is for stuff for you guys to just think about and to have the knowledge bank, so that when black women like me versus her are talking to you about real life situations and trying to get over the obstacles and hurdles to the goals that you need to achieve to get you to a better standing in life, more money in life, more comfortability, more pleasure in life. That's the fucking difference I want y'all to understand, okay? Because when I come on here yelling all that stuff about black males, it's because I know that I'm one of the very few mothers that are out here doing all of this shit that I'm talking to you about. They're out there, but they're just not out there the way that they need to be. So you still be careful whether you have a mom involved in your situation like me or not. Because none of us are 100% in control to stop everything from happening or make certain things happen. But it is important to know that not everything that deals with black women, and I always only come back to black women because that's my focus, right, is about you having to endure bullshit, tolerate bullshit from black males. It's not. You can walk away from that shit completely, or you can learn to deal with things in a different way so that you benefit from it. But listening to people who always try to say that every single thing that you do where it concerns them is always going to be negative is not true. especially when you have moms like me out there and people out there that are required to do things and who have a level of integrity to do things the right way, even though they're not 100% all good. So let me explain what I mean. Like, with my daughter-in-law, she has me always working on her side, right? I think about things like, to my son, you have an extra amount of money than she does. She has a baby. She needs a car. She needs to be able to transport herself and that little boy anywhere she needs to go without issues. She also needs you to set up an account for her for urbansitters.com, so that anytime that, or any other babysitting service that's online, where if she is in a hurry, or her regular babysitters or family members are sick or incapacitated to the point where she cannot get to work or can't make a doctor's appointment or even want to go to the spa by herself, she's able to pay a person for the day to come into her apartment with the family member that's there or not there, and have that child watched so she does not have her day interrupted. And that's real. I mean, and everything is, what I try to do is explain to him that nothing is a problem in this world. It is always a way you can resolve it and work it out. So at first, she didn't like the people coming into the home with the baby by himself. So we installed cameras all over the place in order to watch every moment that the person is there with the child. There's also a dog there, so the dog was taught, and it took a long time to get this dog to understand that if any simulations of you raising your hand to hit the child, the dog will come to attack, right? You have to do things like this. This is me explaining to my son, all this shit is necessary. And then there's also the point where the neighbors next door are given a spare key only when we have a outside sitter in the home and there's no elderly or disabled or otherwise non-working family member to also be in the household with the babysitter and the child. And the reason that is, for those of y'all that don't understand that, is because not everybody is capable of watching children just because they're older and they're available. Many people have mobility problems. They have nerve conditions. They have heart conditions. They have autoimmune diseases where their bodies don't function the way yours do because they have illnesses. So those people are not able to get up, run, jump, follow behind a little 5 to 6 year old little boy who's very active, very busy, or who's able to get up, go out into the cold weather every day in New York City or the heat in the summertime to pick this kid up from school and make sure that he's walked home safely and arrives to school safely. This is where all these other people and agencies and situations come into hand. So these are all the things that also goes into the backdrop or the back information of why when people come on here and who are not on here every day talking about things that really affect black women, like black femicide, domestic violence, low income from jobs where we are mostly sabotaged by white bitches at work, and all the ridiculous shit that really plagues us in real life, you don't have time to come on here to talk about things that are actually beneficial and really affect black women collectively, nationally on a whole. But you got time to come and talk about Father's Day to try to make fun of black women that choose to celebrate that day or acknowledge it, which really don't mean nothing. Because if people celebrate that day, so fucking what? So fucking what? Or whatever they do on that day, when they realize that even though I may say whatever it is I do on this day, or I do what I do, I know that I'm not safe around this motherfucker. I cannot live with this motherfucker. I gotta be careful with my child around this motherfucker. You got to understand that there are all levels of complexities to why people do things and why they live the way they live, and that everything in life is not either or just or. It's sometimes maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or simply all of it. So I'm only saying this to bring another thought pattern to your mind, okay? Because everybody who celebrates Father's Day or says Happy Father's Day is not a person that is worshiping black males or feeling like they owe something to this dude just because he fathered a child with them. That's not the case. Black women are way more multi-dimensional than that, and they can do more than one thing at one time, and they can compartmentalize a lot of things that concern us, society, and black males. And we could do it all from a fucking distance or actively engaged in the middle of that shit and still remember, this is not safe for me. This is not somewhere that I need to be for a long time. Because in life, there are situations like that. You got to remember, there are people out here with shared custody, physical custody, it's like 5 or 10 different types of custody, and these are real lives. People, this is a real way people live their lives. So for her to come on here and just be talking all this shit that she always does about always disparaging black women and the choices they make, living within the conditions that we all have to live in, I just get fucking sick and tired of it. And I just happen to have a pet peeve where I think she needs to shut the fuck up completely, or she needs to change up her material to make it more true to real life. Because if a person has a visitation order or a custody order or some other type of court restraint by law, the shit you talking don't apply to them. And as much as they want to get rid of this motherfucker forever and never see them again, they don't have that fucking option. They don't. And they could hate this person with every ounce of them, but they still have to be cordial. They still have to respect that motherfucking legal order or whatever that arrangement is. And people don't walk around with pedigrees on their head telling you that this is my situation. This is why I have to do this, that, or the other thing. Same thing like with my daughter-in-law. She has already gone and lived her life and decided that she's not interested in being a stay-at-home mom or any of these things my son wants. But yet she is also confined by legal arrangements. So that's why I say everything ain't that simple. Everything is not either this or that. It's a whole lot of shaded shit in between. But black women are always supposed to support each other, protect, look out for each other, and make sure that even when sisters have to be in dangerous situations, we try to make it as protective and the least dangerous that we can for them while they have to be in that shit. And for those of us that actually have their real best interest in mind and we worry about the financial aspect of things, we always want to be whispering in everybody's ear to make sure that this black sister is set up not only now but also in the future, so that if ever these crackers in life decide to take her job because they know that they can, because they wield that type of power, she at least is aware of the fact that you could be over here saving your money and having an emergency stash for anywhere from 6 months to 18 months worth of money, so that if everything is snatched out from under you, you could start again without as much stress, or have the money you need to land you somewhere else to live temporarily or pay your bills until you get another job or whatever the situation is. So these are all of the things that we need to consider and that we really should be on YouTube talking about, besides just the bashing, the negative talk, the relationship talk, without all the real important shit. Like, and when I say that, I mean just like what I spoke about. If these black women going to be on here insisting to talk about relationships with black males, then you should be talking about the plans and the actual ways these women can get out of these situations, how they can get more money, get a better job, increase their credentials, their transitional skills, everything they need to go from a bad situation to a better, while keeping their composure and maintaining some type of way to release the stress or have some type of outlet to regroup, pull themselves back together so that they gear up for the next fight or whatever it is they got to do. I think those are the conversations we should be having instead of that silly shit. That's just me. Because I found it funny that the majority of the women that I thought would normally be the black male worshipers, nobody did a fucking Happy Father's Day video except for this chick. She's never there to do black femicide videos that actually stand up for black women or promote any type of political activism for black femicide, but she's always the first to try to denigrate the victim and try to blame the victim for everything that happens to them, whether it is the way the women do their hair, dress, or put their makeup on, or just the fact that the women existed and they were targeted. So that's all I'm going to say for now, because it's just, to me, being an older woman, it's like some of the stuff that you hear on YouTube is just so short-term in thought. There is no long-term thinking. There is no inclusivity of all the real things black women have to deal with in this life when it comes to dealing with children, black males, our community, the environments we're often put into that are very sabotaging when it comes to us, and very violent, and also intentionally intimidating. And when people do not discuss all those things, I don't want to hear that other shit from them, because we could do without it. We can. Because the whole point of black mothers in raising their sons to actually try to grow up to be men is the fact that you really got to put in the fucking work. Even though at the same time, you know that everything you're doing to improve this dude is the very thing that you may have to warn that woman that will find interest in this dude, whether you want her to or not. Warn her of, look out for her for, and also try to guide her in protecting her from everything that you see coming or that you know can hurt her before she's aware of it. And those are the things that never come up in these conversations. Never. And it's real life. Like, we always have to factor that when you have black mothers that are actually out here trying to make these black males into men and get them to have the level of emotional intelligence they need to function on an adult level, a responsible black male trying to be a man level, it takes a lot of work. A lot of work. A lot. And even though you might be doing all that work for nothing, you still do it anyway. Because your job, as one of those type of mothers that I am, that is our way of protecting black women that we don't know and that we may never come in contact with. The more that I'm able to penetrate this dude's mind and make him into somebody who is less of a threat for black women and more protective, more supportive, more dependable, more reliable for her, the better off she is, and any other black woman this dude encounters. And those are the things that women like her, when they do those lives, they don't understand when women are in the comment section saying, well, my son or my father, because it's true. Both things are true at the same time. The truth is that none of them are not dangerous to black women, because they all are. Fact. Complete fact, right? We see it every day in their actions. Complete fact. But the duality is, there are also those that are less of a threat than others, and who have mechanisms set up within those situations to further help to protect the black woman and that child, which is why those people say the things they say. But when you're talking on a live, or you're trying to talk in reference to a comment that is made, or you come up and you want to have a chance to speak, you don't always get to get your point across the correct way, or to be heard the way you need to be heard. So that's the only reason why I'm saying there's more to it than just everything that's always said the same way. Not only do you have to feel that way and protect yourself and stay away from them because they are dangerous, but those of us whose responsibility it is as mothers who have had these dudes and who have the ability to influence these dudes, you need to be doing it to protect black women. Bottom line. Bottom line. And I can say I probably am one of those women that do both. I tell young women all the time in my videos, stay the fuck away from them. They're no good for you. They're violent. This is what they do. But then on the other hand, I am a mother of 3 who do not do those things that are dangerous to black women, and who have not lived those lives, and who have not been indoctrinated to have all of those manosphere talking points towards black women. But I am aware of the fact that they get socialized by this world, their peers, and every other black male that wants to see them do just as bad as they're doing. So I have to constantly reinforce what was taught, what was learned, to help to protect black women. Which is why those women come in the comments and say the things they say. And to wrap it up, I told you all of that for you to understand that it is not always complete delusion or black male worship or any of those other slurs that y'all so easily do when it comes to black women. Things are always much more complicated when particular women come in and say that. But don't misunderstand. The understanding and the collective threat that we all know is there, and the fact that you should keep your distance, is very real and very much always part of the conversation, more so with some than others. But you also need to know that there are black women out here like me working twice as hard to make sure the ones that I sire are not immediately going to that intense, incredibly maliciously hateful, putrid fucking anti-black women-ness that is being spewed all over the fucking internet. We are here. And I, for one, am always on my job. Always. Yes. So just keep that in mind when you hear all those things. And again, the things I tell you is not to sway your mind or get you to accept the way I have explained something to you or feel. It is submitted for your information, for you to know that everything is not as simple, as simplistic, or as rudimentary as this particular person is talking about. who has never experienced raising a little boy to a grown man and making sure that that grown man has respect for black women every minute and year of the way, and making sure that when he does obtain things, he is returning that back to black women and not running off to white women, Hispanics, and everybody else. And he understands that his position in community and society is to stand by her side or in front of her when any bullshit arises. And we are here. I only could do with mine what I could do to set them out into the world the right way. I have no control over other women's children, but I will at the same time do everything in my power to protect black women, known to me and unknown, by video, by information, by yelling, by screaming, by warning, by coming out my fucking pocket the way I do with my daughter-in-law, so that her rent is paid, her bills are paid, her car insurance is always there, gas is in that shit, and if it needs to be maintenance, it's done. So we are here. And we also too don't need to be recognized, but we just need to be known by you, and so that you are aware of the fact that there are other things out here working in your best interest besides just the rhetoric that is going on these videos. Okay? All right, I'm done. I just wanted to give that little bit of contribution to let y'all know that they are all dangerous. In my opinion, stay away from all of them. But if you are in situations with them and you have black women that are in your corner, in your situation, like me or others that are better than me, do not be a fool not to take advantage of that situation, because there are not many of us. Okay? Be well, black women. Always put your best interests first. Do everything you can to improve yourself and everybody else secondary. Have a great day. And fuck Father's Day. Bye, y'all.